Hey, what's up, Liron here. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, it's going to be a quick question and answer vid, and I do plan on doing more of these, kind of quickly addressing questions I get. So today's question is, why even do a first wash? Meaning, why would you even want to cover up the entire page if you're going to paint over it anyway, do another wash over it? So I'm gonna give you a few good reasons, and I like the idea of questioning the things I do out of habit, so this is a good kind of reminder for myself too. So the first reason is, if you don't cover the entire page and you just, let's say, paint the highlights, right? And then later on you're gonna cover everything up with a darker color, you're running the risk of that first shape you put for the highlights, you're gonna see its borders, and it may give the painting a more of a fragmented alla prima look, which is fine. It is a matter of personal choice, but if you want to avoid that, covering the entire paper will solve it, because your shape essentially has no edge. You're just covering the whole page, and yes, you're going to paint over most of it, but at least the shape you paint around, you won't see a weird, let's say you paint the highlight yellow, and so you cover the entire page up, you won't see a strange kind of slightly darker border around that yellow that may mingle with the border of the paint you put above it. So it's kind of a subtle thing, a matter of personal taste, but that's one of the reasons I like it. And think about it this way, it's going to compound, because if you start doing this for multiple highlights, you'll get all sorts of weird, funny fragmentations that you may not be interested in. Now, the second reason is establishing the colors and the temperature, because you have to remember, watercolor is transparent. So as long as you're not painting pure dark black over your initial wash, it will show. If you paint even a significantly darker wash above it, it will still show. So you have to put something good in there, or you can use it to establish the temperature and things like that. And I also include in that the matter of vision, which is funny, because once you cover up the entire page, you kind of have a vision for where you want it to be cool, where you want it to be warm. You establish something that gives you a first look at the end result, and it is a very initial look, but it's still there and it still is important. So I would put these two kind of together. It will show underneath, and so what you put there does matter. You may put a warm wash and then cover it with a cool wash, like many people do, and it kind of gives that nice resonance of temperature, or you can do it a different way. But I do think it's important because of the transparency of the medium. You'll always see that first wash, as long as you cover it up. Some people work in thin glazes, right? So if you cover it up with a thin glaze, you will still see it, which is why it's important. And again, it's a very good question. Why not just put the color you see where you see it? It is a legitimate approach. It is possible to do that for sure. But here's why I don't do it. Now, the third reason I want to give you is, it's very easy, confidence. The first layer is quite simple. All you really need is to mix enough paint, work at an angle so that the paint moves down, and it's a very easy way to gain confidence that you started the painting. And it's purely psychological. It has no, in this instance, it doesn't necessarily mean there's a practical application, but it does play a role in just helping you feel good about you got the first wash, you got rid of the paper white. I know some people like to use the paper white, but if you don't, and sometimes I feel like it sticks out too much, and I do prefer an initial wash that's kind of warmer, then if that's not the case, then yeah, it really is a good kind of confidence. Ruth walked into the room. It really is a good confidence boost, which is why I personally prefer to do that. Very often I will. So yeah, to kind of conclude, I gave you 3 reasons why it is a good idea to create an initial wash that covers everything up. It doesn't mean it has to be one color. It can be a kind of a transition between multiple colors, multiple temperatures, but it does play a role, and this is why it's important. The 3 reasons were the fact that you'll see the borders of the highlights, possibly the fact that you may want to establish a color temperature or a specific color, and you will see it once you cover it up with transparent washes, because it is transparent, so you will see what's happening underneath. And the third reason, which is funny, not as practical, but it is important sometimes, to have that confidence boost. Okay, so this is my take. Let me know your comments, your thoughts on this below. I'm actually curious to hear how other people do that. Do you kind of veer towards covering everything up, or you kind of avoid that? Okay, I hope that makes sense. By the way, this is going to be gone later today, but you won't see it because I'm filming a lot of vids in advance, but I'm going to get rid of all of this beard and hair. It's going to be much cooler and shorter looking. It'll probably take time until you see it, but do make sure to follow the stories on Instagram, because you will see it there. I want to thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know your thoughts below. If you still aren't subscribed, please do. I have tons of videos, tutorials, whatever anything you may want in the watercolor and painting and even drawing sphere. We'll see you again real soon.